Well, hello there. It belongs in a museum. That's where you are, right here on the flip side. Welcome, I'm Sam. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. What we do here is a little bit different. We are going to focus on games that are older games, not necessarily the new hotness that's coming out at Essen or that just came out at Gen Con or whatever. We're going to focus on older games. And the arbitrary number that we put on there is at least 5 years old or older. So at least 5 years old or older. So we're looking at games that are at least at the earliest 2020, currently this year because it's 2025, or older. Games that were created in 2020 or older. Ryan was here first. There we go. That's better. So I've got keys in my pocket because I just got back from dropping people off, from my son off. And so I had keys in my pocket and the keys decided to hit the mute button. Go figure. Go figure indeed. And I got this cool thing in the mail yesterday from a person by the name of Philip Zomberg. He sent me this cool pocket knife that has a Flipside logo on it. Check this out. I'm gonna put it down here just so that everybody can see it. It's pretty neat. Pretty neato Frito Flipside pocket knife, y'all. And on the other side, it has the retro logo. So that's pretty cool. And then he also threw in there a little logo that he created. I'm going to have to start using that because I do have it. I've got it downloaded. I just haven't taken the time to start using it on some of the thumbnails that we put out. But this is pretty cool. And you can barely see it. I doubt you'll be able to see it, but it says Flipside on the edge of the blade there too, on the top edge of the blade. So Ozark Trails is the, or rather just Ozark, I don't know. But it's a pretty neat little gift. And now he just decided to do this for us because we have been sharp tool-less opening on some of those unboxings of late. So he decided to send that to me and I appreciate it. That's a pretty cool gift. So thank you, Philip. I appreciate it. But that was in my pocket too. That might have been the culprit for getting us without sound there for a little bit. But thank you for being here. I appreciated that. And thank you, Luke, for letting me know. Keeping us on our toes with this start time. Hello, all. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. Thank you again for the knife, my friend. I appreciate that. David Brownlee, howdy, howdy. Scott Drews, it belongs in a museum. Pantomime edition would have been fun. That's cool. Washington residents, don't forget to vote. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Disappointed it wasn't a switchblade combo. A switchblade combo. Oh my gosh. That's funny. No more steak knives. Yes. Okay. No more steak knives. Promise. Those are great knives and super reasonably priced. I have an orange one on me at the moment. I have the orange one as well. Oh, look at you guys making connections. All right. So one thing that I have forgotten to do is I didn't forget to do. I ran out of time. I was about to grab it and then noticed that we were very low on time, but that is to grab the other game that we're going to be talking about. And it's down here, so there's no way you know what it was. Awesome. Svartson is here. What's up, Jan? Roger Patterson. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. All right, Micah is here as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. I think I've said hello to everyone. Jeff C., I didn't say hello to you. Sorry, I missed your name. Good to see you, Jeff. Thank you for being here. And yes, we are ready to go. All right. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I forgot my coffee upstairs, but I did not. That was the slurp for having to get all the stuff that came out in transit. Oh, nose itch. Oh. The person who invented, I was going to say the person who invented coffee should be lauded and praised. But the person who decided, you know what, coffee is bitter and nasty, and instead of just getting used to it, I'm going to make it taste good. That person needs to be lauded and praised even more than the person who started drinking coffee first. So, absolutely, thank you for being here. All right. Stopping in for a bit to say hi. Got to leave soon for work. All right, Marshall, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's always good to have people stop by and say hi. I love that. It kind of fosters, or not really fosters, but it's a byproduct of that community that we're trying to create here, and I love that. So thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. Let's see here. You drug addicts and your liquid meds. Self-medication, as long as it's coffee. I'm not going to finish that statement. But yes, this is a sugar-free Happy Monkey from Steamers West, and it is basically a coconut mocha. So it's a mocha coffee, which is chocolate coffee with coconut thrown in there. So it is super good, and it's sugar-free because that's how I do it. Made more progress over the weekend. Shelf of Shame is now less than 50 games. Wow. Also lost a couple more games of Nemesis Retaliation. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting that one back to the table. I really enjoy the 2 plays that we've had of it so far. It's really an enjoyable game. Really. It's very thematic. Very engaging. It's very challenging. And it's also really fun because they didn't make killing those aliens overly difficult. You guys are Marines with firepower, you know what I'm saying? And it feels like you are. Now, you can get overwhelmed just like the Marines in the movies did, but it's super fun. It's super fun. I actually, David will be pleased to hear this. I actually fired up the 3D printer for the first time over the weekend. JT came over after we recorded on Sunday, and our bottom 5 and top 5 for this coming Friday. After we did that, he got me jump started on how to use the printer that I bought from him because he replaced his old one. And so my first print, well, technically my first print was the Buddha Test STL that Elegoo has you print out. But after that, my first project was my miniature for my D&D character that I created on Hero Forge. So it's upstairs. I should have brought it down and showed you guys, but I'll show it to you another time this week. It'll be cool. But that is cool. I'm looking forward to getting some more projects done on it, some inserts and maybe some little pieces to spruce up this or that in my game collection. So it's a fun little thing. It's one of those ways. It's a tool that burgeons your creativity, and I like that. I don't know that I'm going to be very good at it, and I don't know how much I will use it, but I enjoy using it so far. It's been a fun time learning how to use it, so it's very good. Firepower, no oxygen, but plenty of firepower. That's right. Way to go on the 3D printer. JT needs to share where his Nemesis card tray file came from. I can't find the same one. Similar, but not the same. Otter is here. What's up? Hi, everyone. A bit earlier today. Glad I tuned in. Yeah, it is a bit earlier. I have other things that I have to get done, so that is what it is. But, yeah. JT needs to share where he got his Nemesis card tray file from. I will try to find out. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and ask him real quick. I'll just send him a text because, yeah, we do... where is it? Where is it? There it is. People are asking where you got your print file for the Nemesis card trays. All right. That is out. I have a bunch on 3D printed inserts in my games since I got mine. Yeah, that's going to be probably where I love inserts, and if a game doesn't have a good insert, it sometimes keeps me from playing the game because it's harder to get it set up and get it tore down. And it seems petty, but it really isn't, because, I mean, the easier something is to get to the table, the more I want to play it. That's the long and the short of it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I have a couple of games picked out, and I'm going to go with the older one first. And this game... Now, let me explain. For, I think everybody that's here has been here for a while. Even if you're not in the chat, if you're here and you don't know what's going on here, what we're about to do is we like to make this, since we talk about some older games and not the new hype, we like to try to make it a little bit more fun for everybody. And so we make a little game out of it. And what we do here is I'm going to give you a couple of clues about the game that we're about to talk about. And whomever can guess first what that game is going to be is going to, and they put that name in the chat, they're going to get a surprise from the Flipside. And that surprise, to break off some of the surprise, is going to be 1 or 2 stickers from us, and with a Flipside logo on it, and you're going to get a surprise. That surprise could be anything. It could be a board game, it could be an expansion to a board game, it could be just a board game accessory that I thought at one time was really cool, and now I just don't use anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. It could be a number of different things. But what I do want to clarify is it's not going to be the game that we go over, because these are games from my collection that I'm just showing off to put back in the limelight for a little bit. So more often than not, unless I have another copy of the game just laying around, which I will tell you, and then I will say we're going to actually give away a copy of this game for this giveaway. Unless I actually say that, it's not going to be the game that we actually go over. So let me clarify that. I have had some people reaching out and asking questions about that specific thing. So I just want to make that clear, because I don't want to ever seem like I'm presenting, hey, here's the game we're going to talk about, and you could win it. No, I'm not doing that. And I've never done that, but I just got a little bit lax in explaining what we're actually doing. So I'm going to send you something that is a surprise. It is not necessarily going to be the game that we go over. Okay? All right, so the first one here hails from 2015. So it is 10 years old. 2015, and there's a reason I want to go over it, but it hails from 2015, and actually, it is a re-implementation of a game that came about in, hold on to your hats, 1999. So actually, this game is 26 years old. Now, it has had a few re-implementations throughout the way. This one that we're talking about was the 2015 re-implementation. So this one's only 10 years old, but the game itself is 26 years old. I had to do the math there for a minute. I'm sorry. I'm not good at math. But anyway, 26 years old. But this one is from 2015. And I'm only going to give you one mechanism clue. I'm only going to give you one because I gave you those two clues. You might be able to figure it out together because I gave you a couple of different years, and the fact that those 2 years are connected because it's a reimplementation. That's a pretty big clue. The second clue is going to be that one of the mechanisms is dice rolling. Dice rolling. All right. So now what you can do is you can start guessing using your BGG foo or your Google foo or whatever it might be to try to find out the answers, to sleuth out the answer to the question that the two clues will lead you to. So that's what we're doing. All right, last time Small World was guessed way before Sam actually showed it because we talked about it in the chat. Let's try that again, shall we? Zombicide First Edition. No, that is not correct. Thank you for trying, though. For anyone who might have missed it and needs to know, Jess said there is no Steamers West meetup this Friday, which is next Friday on the calendar. That is correct. This coming Friday, we are supposed to be doing a Steamers West, but they are having some difficulty with scheduling staff to be there and not overworking their staff. That's the main thing. They've got some new people that they're training. They've had some, people going to college. They've had some people moving out of the valley. There's been a lot of turnover recently for very normal reasons. Nothing bad is going on at Steamers West, but so they're training some new people and they're having to work some longer hours. The people who are they're long timers that are there. So she doesn't want to overwork any of her people. So we just decided to not do it there. We are, however, I believe I talked to the owners of the Treasure Trove, the new game cafe here in town, and they have said that we can host there. Now they've said that there's going to be a Lorcana event happening that Friday, but they have said that as long as you're okay with sharing the space, you can do it. So that's cool. I'm working with them on what fee they're going to charge us in order to basically rent their store out for the meetup. But I believe they've already said, and I'm trying to double check right now because I don't want to say anything. Let's see here. Boom. Yeah, one of the owners said that would be great. But they already have an event scheduled for that night, but there should be plenty of space available for both events. And then I said, happy to share space. What's y'all's rate for hosting? We can advertise starting tomorrow. So what I'm gonna say is what we're planning on doing, what Jess and I are going to do, let's put it that way, is we're gonna be at Treasure Trove Game Cafe in Steamers, in Wenatchee, Washington, instead of Steamers this month. That's it. So we are going to do it, but it's not going to be at Steamers. It's going to be at Treasure Trove Gaming Cafe this week. And that's here in Wenatchee, Washington as well. It's basically just like 2 blocks away from where Steamers is. So that's what we're going to be doing. So if you can make it, we are still going to be doing it. And you can find Treasure Trove Game Cafe through GPS. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's see here. Okay, we have a whole bunch of different things here. Fireball Island, Luke says, nope. Philip says, roll for the galaxy. Nope. Fireball Island, Luke says, with a question mark. Nope. Obligatory TI4 in honor of Eric, Philip says. Also, nope, but thank you. Carcassonne Star Wars. No. TI4 Hide and Seek British Edition. I didn't even know that existed. That sounds like fun. Kingdom Death Monster. Oh, no. Not even close. Burgle Brothers, no. Warhammer Quest, the adventure card game, no. Neanderthal, no. Thunderbirds, no. Frostgrave, no. Bang the Dice game. Ooh, that's a good game, but no. Tiger Leader, no. Is there a basket and a pilot involved? A basket and a pilot involved. Wow, that's a good question, Ryan. Ah, okay. I'll stay tuned. Doesn't sound like a place that needs a game topper. That's probably true. I don't think it would mind, however. They have tables, but, and they are good-sized tables, but they don't have gaming tables in there. Does that make sense? It's a very nice store. It's a very nice furniture, nice, comfortable atmosphere. Everything's good. Lighting's really good. But I don't think they would mind if you brought your game topper in there. Don't think they would. Waste Knights, no. Dragon Farkle, no. XCOM, no. I was listening at 2 times speed to catch up and caught 1999 and Dice Rolling. Well, you may have caught everything that you needed to catch, but I'm not going to say anything else. I was going to say Blood Rage as it re-implements Monopoly. Wow. Wow. No, it absolutely doesn't re-implement Monopoly. Andromeda, no. All right, I'm going to add a couple more. Okay, so let's stick to 2015. Let's forget the whole re-implementation thing, although that is true. It did re-implement a game that was from 1999. But this one is 2015. I already told you Dice Rolling. The second one is Push Your Luck. So Push Your Luck and Dice Rolling. Those are the two. Andromeda, 2015, Machikaro, the Voyages of Marco Polo, no, both of those, and no to Andromeda as well, if I didn't say that earlier. I prefer this game to Malem. Ryan, that's like low-key. Oh my goodness. That's Ryan being gracious because I think Ryan knows what the game is now, as he is providing commentary on what games he likes better than it. But he has not yet said what it is, so he's toying with you all. That's what he's doing. Dragonwood. No, that is also not correct. Dragonwood is not correct. But you guys are on the same wavelength, Dave and Luke. Good job. Time's up. No, that's not correct. Ryan says, I have the 1990 version with the balloons. Daggum, he's throwing out a lot more clues. All right, well, I'm fine with it. Don't worry. I'm good. I don't mind at all. Balloon Cup? Close, but no cigar there, David. I've got to send a message while we're doing this. Yes, but it will be at Treasure Trove Game Cafe this week. Steamers couldn't do it this month. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Balloon Cup is a no. Can't Stop. No. Dice City. No. Crossmaster Arena. No. Cardboard Tube Samurai. No. Luke, Around the World in 80 Days. No. Ink and Gold. Ooh, really close, but no. There's no dice rolling in Ink and Gold that I remember. No, there's not. It's just card play. It's just boom. I pick which way I'm going deeper or I'm not going deeper. Come on, people, you can do it. There's no dice rolling in Ink and Gold. Around the World in 80 Days. You realize I'm usually picking the funniest answers, not the most likely, right? I won last week, so don't want to win again. Gotcha. David Brownlee, Ink and Gold is 2005. That is true, but it probably had a re-implementation that was close to 2015. But yeah, it also wasn't 1999, so that is good. All right, let me give you one more clue. Somebody's got to win so we can move on here, people. All right, betting and bluffing. Betting and bluffing is another mechanism. So betting and bluffing, dice rolling, and push your luck. And it came out in 2015. If nobody wins, nobody wins. I'm going to give you a minute, starting now. Because with all of the clues that Ryan has given you, all of the clues that I've given you, you should be able to use BGG to knock it out pretty easily. Fleet the Dice Game, no. Gold Fever, no. Age of War is 2014, so that is out. That is correct. Heck Mech, I've never even heard of that game, Arthur. Cloud 9, that's close, but it's not the game that we're talking about. That is very close, although that's Ryan giving you another clue. Ace of Aces is not correct, Philip. Incorrect, sir. I forgot Celestia was a reimplementation, so I didn't check. And I'm going to count that as the correct answer. There's only 3 choices right. Maybe with all of those mechanisms thrown in there, yes, maybe there is only 3 choices. But there you go, Celestia. Robert M., you are the one. You are the one. All right. So yes, Celestia is the one. Thank you for participating. Robert M., you are the winner. So Robert, you have the choice of either accepting the prize and sending me your shipping information at Flipside. Oops, I need to put actually in the chat. FlipsideOBG@gmail.com. And so you need to send me either your shipping information, or if you wish, you can pass on the winnings to somebody else that's in the chat right now. So that is up to you. But yes, Celestia is what we're talking about. We need to get down to the table. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. So Celestia. So basically this is a game where you're trying to... Oh, that's really kind of warped over the years. That's cool though, yeah? Look at that. Anyway. You have all of these different... Oh, am I missing some... Oh, these are supposed to go on there somewhere. I don't remember where. Oh, well. Oh, down there? Oh, maybe like that. Like that. No, that doesn't seem right. Because that just like fell right off. Oh, maybe that's good. I don't know. Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I don't know what all... Oh, these are extra pieces. Oh, that one is actually still on there. The other one fell off. So there you go. There's the little airship that you're traveling around in. These are all of the spare parts. So I'm putting all of these back in here. Oh, they've even got a plank in there. You can make people walk the plank. I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's actually true. But there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. These are all of the different player pieces that you can move around. Nicely shaped purples, as I heard they were called. These are all of the different characters that are in the game. All of the different peeps. And then there are some expansions in here, like I have a little help and a little initiative. I haven't ever even opened a little initiative, probably because I bought it knowing that I would want it and never played it again. But here are some cards, and then here are the actual spaces that you're going to be going over. And it's like you're trying to get as high up on these things as possible, and these are all like points. that you're trying to, successes rather, that you're trying to get. And depending on 1 plus, yeah. So these are a number of successes that you have to get in order to move to the next one. And this is how many dice you're going to be rolling as you go up. And each person gets to roll that many dice to get hopefully that many successes on the things, on the cards that are being played. And you're just trying to go as far as you can. It's a really fun push your luck game. Cloud 9 was incredibly ugly. I just did not enjoy the look of Cloud 9 at all. When they came out with this reimplementation and we played it on the Dice Tower, I immediately enjoyed it. And it really is just one of those things where games that look good are more fun to play. That's just the long and the short of it. It's not that I didn't really enjoy. It's not that I didn't enjoy Cloud 9 at all. That's not it at all. It's just that it was an ugly game. And so the artwork in this one just really helped my enjoyment of the game that much more. So just to, you know, and really, you know, kind of looking back at it, the artwork isn't terribly great, but it's much better than it was. So that's what you got. So it's Cloud 9. This is a really cool game. Now, the reason I chose this to go over this today is because as I was doing research for JT and I's bottom and top 5 coming up this Friday, I found out that they have a 2-player version of this coming out. And it made the short list, at the very least, of games that I would actually want to make sure that I would pick up. Because this is just a game that I've really enjoyed. The problem with the game is that it is kind of a party-ish game. Now, this says that it is good for 2 to 6 players, but I'm curious now, because I've never played this game with 2 players. Never played it with 2 players, and I am looking to see summary of play. I'm trying to see what's different with the number of cards you put out there. The number of cards you put out there is 2 or 3 players. You put 8 cards out instead of 6 cards for 4 or more. Or how many cards you take, rather. But I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. But they do have a 2-player version. It's called Celestia Duo, coming out at Essen, and I just thought that was neat. So it reminded me of how much I liked Celestia. So I knew I had this on the shelf. So I went ahead and decided to go over that today. So that is Celestia. And Robert, again, make sure that you either send me your shipping information, or you find somebody else in the chat to do just that. All right, so all these can come in here. All these can go in here. That can go in there. That can go in there. That can go in there. Oh, dang it. Got to find a spot. I'm going to take these off so they don't get messed up. But, and we can even kind of do this so that sits a little bit better. Nope, don't like it. There we go. That goes in there. So, Celestia. That's what we are talking about. All right, so I've won before, so I'll pass it off. Someone speaks up. The propeller makes more of a broove sound. That's probably true. That sure took a long time. Congrats, Robert M. I figured out after the comment about balloons, but waited to give someone else a chance. The basket in Cloud9 has a fantastic rubbery plastic piece. After seeing this cardboard ship, I don't think I'll be trading in the ugly copy. Or you could buy the nice looking copy, keep the rubber basket from Cloud9, and use it in Celestia, the better looking game. I don't know if it'll fit though, thematically. Robert is still asking if anybody wants the prize. Scott, you were second. If the BGG app ever gets updated to allow advanced searches, some of us would get better at guessing. That's funny. All right, so Scott is being asked. Scott, do you want the prize since you were the second one to answer? So answer that for us, and we'll get continuing on. 3D print a better boat. You're going to need a bigger boat. All right, well, let's go ahead and get on to the next one. Now, the next one is a little bit of a cheat, but I'm still going to do it. It's a little bit of cheat on mine. Fine, I'll take it. Someday I will win on my own. All right, Scott, that's great. Scott, I think you already have the email address, flipsideobg@gmail.com. Send me your shipping information again. And basically, I know you've won in the past. I could dig it up, but it's a tickler. It's a tickler file for me so that I remember, hopefully, to send out the prizes. So send me an email, Scott. You are done. That is good. All right. Thank you, Robert, for being a good sport. And thank you, Scott, for accepting the gracious offer. All right. So that is that for Celestia. The next one I said was kind of a cheat. And you know what? It isn't, but it is. No, it is, but it isn't. I'll put it that way. Because this game originally came out in 2019. That was 6 years ago, people. You know that the arbitrary boundary for talking about games is 5 years. So this is definitely old enough to talk about here on It Belongs in a Museum. But it has gotten a lot of recent news because it has a second edition out there. So this one came out in 2019. That's our first clue. And the two mechanisms that I'll give you is modular board and contracts. Modular board and contracts. Those are the two. And those are the clues that I'll be giving you for this next game that we'll be talking about here in the second half. We only have about 20 minutes to go, so get to guessing. A cheat? Been a couple of those lately. Nah, not really. Another beforehand guess. Sleeping Gods. Incorrect. David Brownlee knocks it out of the parks. Is correct. David Brownlee knocked it out of the parks, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, parks. Now, the reason I'm saying that this is a cheat, it came out 6 years ago. This is a 6-year-old game, but Parks also has a second edition that just came out this year, and my goodness, it just doesn't match as far as the looks. It looks too clean. I'm looking at stuff right now. It's not that, I don't know. Somebody might like this. Let me share my screen because I wanna let you make your own determination. Okay. Let's see. No, not that. I want to do screen capture, add. And then we'll go over to window, configure. What window do you want me to use? I want you to use Google Chrome. Okay. All right, so if you don't know anything about Parks, first of all, Parks is a game where you're trying to hike through and you're hiking through and you're gathering, you're basically visiting all of these natural parks that are here in the US. And it has great artwork. I'm going to show you the artwork of the new one, and then we're going to go over the artwork of the old one. And I just really like the old one a lot better. Anyway, here are some of the cards. And again, these are images that are on Board Game Geek, so I don't own the rights to them or anything like that, but I just want to all 63 national parks in our new edition of parks. So there you have it. So you have all of this stuff here, and this is the artwork of the new game. Again, it's not necessarily bad, but it's too bright for me. I love the dark, kind of rustic nature of the artwork in the old one, and this is not bad, but my goodness, I like the new one, the old one rather, so much better. If we go back, let's look at some of the, well, I'll just show this to you, and you can look at it later on. That's the new cover. You just saw the old cover. That is, oh, Summit Edition. Ooh. This is the mass market edition. This is what's going to be going out. This is probably a Kickstarter or something to that effect. But it's bright, it's cheery, it's like, oh, this is my buddy Ilya. Oh, that's awesome. Ilya, you're a dude, man. Great pictures, as a matter of fact. Anyway, so the white trays, I don't even like the trees. I don't like those. Oh, I also don't like the hikers. Oh, anyway, you get the idea, right? I don't want to steal Ilya's thunder too much. He's a good buddy of mine, though. Ilya's a great guy, too. Anyway, that's the way that the new parks looks, and it just came out this year, so that's why this is a little bit of a cheat. This is actually this is a game that has a brand new re-implementation out there, but I want to go over this fella right here, and this is the 2019 version of it. This is 6 years old. So let's go ahead and get down to the table and go over this, and I'll try to, hopefully after seeing that, you'll see why I like this version better. This is again, much more of a stylized version. I've talked to Tim Tivier. This has been a topic of ours on, kind of like a subtopic of ours on the Western Contingent. And his take was the fact that for a mass market, for a retail version, the new cover has parks and big letters, and it's brighter, it's going to pop more and all that kind of stuff. Whereas for a niche hobby, it's going to be a little bit more accepted with the older one. But anyway, this is the cover, and let me get all this stuff. I also have the expansion Nightfall in here as well. So it does, the base game does, everything pretty much fits in there with the there is a little bit of lit lift. But anyway, this is something for the expansion. This is the board for the base game right here. So the parks deck goes right here, and then you have 3 parks that are out here that are available. And then you have the canteen deck here, the seasons deck right here, and then the gear deck right down here. And then you have 3 options that are open for the gear deck. And then you have a player aid that's right here that basically tells you exactly what you can do on your turn. But I love the woodsy, rustic look of this compared to the white, black of the new one. Anyway, you saw the white trays, right? They look so anemic compared to these. These are the component trays that you can buy, and if you can catch the kind of the grain on the clear plastic, these look like tree trunks. Now Tim thought that they were axes, and I can see that, but they're actually tree trunks. And they hold all of the pieces. You saw the pieces that were in there. These are the sun pieces. These are the mountain pieces. And then over here, these are the trees. Now the trees actually look like trees, in my opinion. The other ones look like a couple of arrows being slammed together. But anyway, I'm being picky, and I know I'm being picky. These here are wild resources, basically. They are animals, and they can count as any resource that you need. There's water, sunshine, mountains, and trees, and then you have all of the animals, and they even included Batman. See, look at that. Batman is in parks. How can you not like Batman parks? But there you have it. These little tents right here are part of the expansion, and I did have to do some moving around of things that are in this to get those to fit in there, but they actually did. So I am able to get, I think there might be 2 expansions if I'm remembering correctly. There might be 2 expansions for this, and I only have 1. So if I try to get the other one in here, that might be a little bit of a problem. But we just played this on Sunday. Matter of fact, I taught JT how to play it. He seemed to enjoy it. First round was a little bit weird because he was that you know how it starts off. You start off with a shorter trail, and then every round is by 1 space. And by the end of the game, he was really digging it. But anyway, these are some of the tiles that come in the expansion, and then we have a whole bunch of cards here. So I have these are the regular cards. These are the cards that come in the expansion, and I'm just going to set some of these out so you can see the difference. Hopefully you can see them pretty well, but the artwork on this, I don't know, I just like it better. It just has a look of it. I don't know. I'm weird, and I get it, and I have weird art tastes. I get that. Although not Vincent Dutrait, he's amazing. Period. End of discussion. But I really like the artwork on these better. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a just a tone shift or what it is, but the artwork on these is so much better in my opinion. And I like this artwork so much better that I actively sought out this edition of the game instead of the one that is more readily available. So keep that in mind. Now, again, you might just be saying, yeah, but you're weird. Totally agree with you on that. But I really enjoy the artwork on this game. It's so much better, in my opinion. And you can disagree with me, but I just like the way this game looks so much more. It's just more rustic, and it looks more like a park. These are the hikers. These are the hikers that you get. And so that might be hard to see, but these are the hikers that come in the game. And I don't know. You get 5 different colors. JT doesn't like the fact that there's no red. He even said, even if you put these 2 together, it's still not red. But I just really enjoy this game a lot. And it saddens me that there is a new game that doesn't look as good out there rather. Anyway, it's got a nice metal first player token. Really enjoy this one a lot. It's got all these cards in here, and again, there's more cards in here than what come in the base game. There's a little camera, a retro camera, and so I really enjoyed this copy of the game much better than the new one. I actively sought this one out, but that is Parks. All right, let's see what we got going on here. What have you guys been saying? Summit version was not a Kickstarter, but a deluxe version you could have pre-ordered through the publisher. Thank you for that, Philip. I appreciate that clarification. Dice Matrix says, I got your package. Thank you for the kindness. You are welcome, Dice Matrix. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for being here, buddy. David Brown says, do you always recommend the expansions? I don't always. There's also a neoprene playmat for the original parks. That would be something I might want to search out. However, I know that it probably won't fit in here if I do have it. So I don't know. I'll have to look at it. But that's cool. I'm usually a sucker for neoprene playmats. And to answer David Brown's question, no, I don't always recommend that you get the expansions. When I bought the original version of or the 2019 version of Parks, they had the Nightfall version expansion in the old version style, so I went ahead and picked it up at the same time. And it was the only. I think there are 2 expansions for them, but I could be wrong. I might just be getting it mixed up. But the reason I went ahead and bought Nightfall is because it was in the same branding, I guess you could put it that way, as the original. And so there you go. The second edition has versions of the expansion in the base box, and yes, if you want more variability in scores. Okay, cool. I always saw the trays as logs rather than tree trunks. Okay, yeah, logs, tree trunks, same thing. There are 2 expansions, Wildlife and Nightfall. Yep, thank you, David. Micah says, I like Parks and its original looks better than the new version. Parks and Batman gives one hope for a 3rd edition, which will hopefully include zombies. I don't know about that. Unfortunately, the game trays organizer fails if you sleeve the cards. Well, my thing is, and here's my philosophy on sleeving cards. If you're going to have the cards in your hands, you probably need to sleeve them for longevity's sake. But these are generally not held in your hand. They are put on a table, which means that, in my opinion, you don't need to sleeve these cards. Yes, you do a bit of shuffling. Yes, you do a little bit of handling as you set up, but these are not cards that someone's going to be holding in their hands and getting their natural oils all over them throughout the course of the game. They're generally just laying on a table, picked up and put back down. So that's my kind of philosophy. This game doesn't need sleeving, in my opinion. Agree, the original artwork is what makes it so pleasant. The new artwork keeps me from feeling immersed in the game's theme. My feelings exactly, Luke. Thank you. If you are a hiker in a valley, are you a loker? No, because it's not called loking. It's called hiking. And your altitude does not matter. If you are hiking, if you are walking in the woods, it's called a hike. Not a like or a loke. Funny joke though. David Brownlee says, I like the modular board in Parks, but I prefer Tokaido for a game with this kind of movement. That is cool. Yeah, it does have the same thing as in Tokaido, where you can move as far ahead as you want, but you can never go backwards. And that is, I do enjoy that as a mechanism. It fosters some pretty cool decision spaces. So that's pretty cool. All right, I got to get going. I got to go pick up my son. And so I appreciate you being here. We talked about Parks and we talked about Celestia. Hope you enjoyed that. 2 really great games. If you can't find the old edition of Parks, just go get the new edition. I don't think they made that many choices. You do have the expansions included in the base box with that new edition, I think. So there's that as well. You're kind of getting three birds with one stone. But if you can find the new one and you're like me, you'd like that rustic, nature-y feel, try to find this older version, 2019 Parks version, and they're still out there. There's still copies out there in the wild. See what I did there? So you can find it. It might just be a little bit more difficult. But anyway, that's that. Thank you for joining me here on the flip side. We'll see you back tomorrow for a live review. A live review is coming up tomorrow, not a solo play. A live review is coming up tomorrow, so we'll be talking about that. We're going to talk about Toy Battle tomorrow, and it's been a pretty fun experience getting to know that game. Anyway, we'll see you back tomorrow. Thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate you and your time. Take it easy, folks. We'll see you on the flip side. Take care.